Just the dynamic of, like getting a little emotional, actually.
Good.
Okay. No, but the saying yes, it's like saying, damn, sorry, it's early.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
We are so excited about this moment. Been waiting for this moment for several years now. Gentlemen have just walked into the room. I see Donnie. I see Jonathan. I see Jordan. I see Joey. I see Danny. New kids on the block.
It's like Romper Room. You remember Romper Room?
I was going to say, in the magic mirror, right?
That's right, the magic mirror. I see. Elvis.
I see in a very important era in so many people's lives that we continue to celebrate today, and you continue to get out there and hang out with the fans of New Kids on the Block, the blockheads.
Yeah,
they love you.
Yep.
Let's dig into that. Welcome to Z100, where I met you back in the 1990s, but back then it was different because you guys were injected with this incredible, crazy, ego-blasted, we're superstar kids, and I had to babysit all 5 of you.
Still might.
And you guys were having fart contest in the corner of the
That sounds like an episode of our cartoon.
You were farting in my studio.
Were we lighting them on fire? We used to do that on the tour bus.
Well, guess what?
I think I introduced that, by the way.
That was you.
Well, lighting them on fire. Guess what? The interview is young, and we have a lighter. Welcome, guys. It's so great to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
Great to be here.
And what's wonderful about New Kids on the Block, it's not only one big ball of energy. It's 5 interesting guys that have 5 interesting lives.
It's 10 balls.
10. Well, I don't know. It depends on if any of you.
Well, you didn't hear about my surgery.
So I guess it's 11. It's now 11 balls. So anyway, welcome to the show. We've had things to celebrate. Of course, the album Still Kids is coming out tomorrow, I do believe.
Yep.
And of course, Kids. We got to play that in a second. But also, I have another song that people haven't heard being released tomorrow. Ooh. We're waiting for legal to say we can push the play button.
Oh, you can do it.
Of course. All right.
Let's break the law.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's break the law.
Get crazy.
You're taking over Good Morning America tomorrow, I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be early. It's going to be early. This is late compared to Good Morning America. I think we have to be there tonight to perform tomorrow.
Well, you all look refreshed. Having New Kids on the Block visit your show is not an easy task because there are so many moving parts. Because you have things to do. You've got schedules. I'm looking at your schedule, guys. When's the next cruise? I'm going to go on the next New Kids cruise.
You should go on the next cruise.
You've done 13 of them so far.
12 real ones and 1 virtual one because of some virus a few years ago.
Wait, how do you do a virtual cruise?
We just, oh gosh.
We all got in our bathtubs.
Yeah.
And then we Zoomed each other.
Yeah. And then invited 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 fans in to watch. It was really fun. It was fun, actually.
And of course, your fans, as you know, are, I don't want to use the word rabid because that's a little negative. They're just very enthusiastic. So if you're on a ship, which, not a lot of exits when you're in the middle of the ocean. No. You're there.
There's no getting away.
There's no getting away.
It's a big mosh pit,
though.
Yeah, it's a big. I mean, we go. We give them the time of their lives. We just try to give back, and they're, it's a big deal, but it's non-stop, and we're not, hiding in a cabin the whole time. It's like we're in a mosh pit the whole time, basically.
A floating mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, fantastic!
It's phenomenal.
These cruises, though, 12, that's a lot. I mean, are there any more scheduled, or is that a thing that you've put on hold for a while?
Not scheduled, but I would predict that one will happen again. In your green room, there's a big cruise ship.
That's our
different
ship.
Cruise line than the one we typically use, but some of us were getting excited looking at that little scale model of a cruise ship.
Feel free. We can move you up to our cruise line and whenever you're ready. You're good.
Maybe we can move you over to ours.
Cruise off. We have agents for these things. Let's talk about what it's like getting back into the studio with each other. I know that, Donnie, you help you were part of the writing process, right? Was anyone else writing?
I probably got the ship, to use a pun, a recent pun, started. I got the ball rolling, to use another pun from a few minutes ago.
I love that's the second time we've talked about balls on our show.
That's right. No, I started the writing process a little while ago, and we started recording, and it's always a process, and discovering what we want to talk about, what we want to say, the music that feels right for us. And I think we got a few songs done, and then Joey came and got really inspired and really kind of got us across the finish line with the album and bringing a bunch of new songs and new energy after I sort of got it started. So and everybody was game on recording at all hours of the night. I think Joe held John hostage in a hotel room to sing a song.
That was pretty cool. Actually,
but we were all in. We were all in to do this. We haven't really done a new album in over
11 years.
Yeah.
Probably,
so this was something that I think was important for the fans, and as it turned out, by the time we finished, we realized it was also very important for us. We really bonded in a new way. It took a lot of effort to pull this off with all our busy schedules and stuff, and to have done it and to feel so good about it and so proud of it. We can't wait for the fans to hear it. We're very excited about it.
I'm going to use Jonathan as an example. So we see you doing your show, Farmhouse Fixer, and I need you, by the way. It's falling down. I need you to build it. But we see you living in this bucolic world, where your busy day and a great relationship with great friends that you work with to redo these amazing historical homes and things like that. I can imagine you were the last one going, oh, God, I have to go. Jonathan has to go to a city that has over 10 people in it. Welcome to New York. Let's use your example. I mean, were you a holdout coming back into the studio to do this, or were you ready to go?
I'm always ready. I have a really good balance, so, I get to do my thing and then get to jump back in with these guys. So
right.
Best of both worlds.
Right. What about you, Danny? Was it like, okay, and I've been waiting for your call, waiting by the phone.
I was waiting. I was ready to go, and it was a lot of fun, especially two guys in the group writing for all of us. So it was easy to sing the songs. It was easy to relate to what they wrote. So to me, this was the most fun I've had since we've been back together recording.
There you go. What about you, Jordan? What are you thinking?
I love music like everybody else, and it's fun. It's fun to do new music. That's the thing. Like when we go on tour, we sing all of our hits all the time. Every tour, that's what the fans want. But for us, it's like great and fun for us to do new music, and for our hardcore fans, they want to see new music, new routines, and it's fun. It's fun creating music. That's why we started doing this. So
there you go.
I think when you sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You finish out.
No, I just the dynamic of like getting a little emotional actually.
Good.
Okay.
No, but the saying yes, it's like saying damn. Sorry, it's early. Saying yes to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like Donnie says yes first and deals with whatever. And I know Jordan said yes from the get-go, like when Donnie was working out. And when you have Jordan Knight showing up and laying down vocals, like, it's just like that energy, and you get to trade off with each other, and people showing up, and Danny always being there, and John, like you say, coming off the farm and going, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? And it can be it's a real process. Even though you've known everybody, but there's no greater
wow
compliment than your boys, showing up.
5 said yes.
Sorry,
it was
Let's go
5
commercial.
No. I think that's a very important part of the story. Important part of the story, and because the history you have with each other, the good, the bad. I know, of course, it was what it was. It was like sitting in an electric chair, being a New Kid on the Block performer back in the day, and now you're like, am I going to say yes to this? Let me think for a second. And then when you do say yes, I must assume there's a thin line between excitement and, what the F am I doing? Here we go. But you did it. You did it. What were we going to say, Danielle?
I was just going to ask. Now I feel bad asking because he's crying over here. Okay, but being that you guys have been doing this for so long and you have been singing these songs a lot, is there one song that you all go, yeah, we're just not going to do that one anymore, or we would rather not do that one anymore?
I'm sure everyone has one.
There's a certain. We always say there's a certain member that doesn't like to sing a certain song, but you know.
Okay.
What is it? What is it?
Yeah, come on.
Okay. Which one does?
It's just, it's a little bit of a trick question because I personally don't really get that excited if I hear the right stuff come on. You know, if I'm at a basketball game or somewhere in public and they know I'm there, they're going to play it, and it's like, all right, not my favorite.
We're done.
But in concert with our fans, there's not really a better moment than performing the right stuff.
Well, let me do a question for you. Donnie, which song does Jonathan hate doing?
I'm trying to figure out which one he likes doing. He likes the one when he's off stage. Jordan sings solo. John goes and has a drink.
All right, I want to take you guys back to that first moment you were all in the studio together to start working on Still Kids. All right, that very first moment when you're about to, like, I guess you're warming up or doing whatever vocalists do, but you're about to have to get to work on an album. Was it a little scary, a little frightening?
This is a trick question. We were never all in the same studio. Welcome to making a record in 2023, 2024. Yeah. I think so. There was always a little bit. I mean, frankly, to go back to John. And I expect the fans to make me a statue because I wrote a song for John, and he is beloved. So the fact that he has this solo, it's called Better Days on the album, and I felt like I was trying to romance the guy, and we did it in a hotel room. Well, we recorded in a hotel room. And there was lots of those moments. I think the moment you're speaking to are those moments of like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this call? How are you going to say, hey, how about sing this part? What do you think of this song? Because it is all subjective, and the tough part is to say, I don't think so. That's not me. How about this? You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does.
There's still vulnerability, and there's still, it's still art. In some ways, when we're writing songs and putting concerts together and doing this stuff, we want to get everybody on the same page, and it's hard to get 5 human beings on the same page with such different lives. So as Joey was saying earlier, I think and I experience it myself, is when you're presenting ideas and stuff to people who've been doing it this long and been in the industry this long, it's like, damn, I hope they like it. And even though it's our bandmates, you want their respect in many ways more than anybody else's. If some other artist turns down a song I write, well, I didn't really expect them to like it in the first place. But with your own bandmates, you really want them to be excited and enthused, because if they're not, it's like you also got to live with them. And the song was on the record, and every time it plays, you look at it and go, yeah, he didn't like that song. I got it on behind his back. It's like you don't want that. You really hope that everyone's in that same energy space. And I think at the end of the day, we usually are mindful and respectful of each other enough after all these years to know when to push, when to pull back, and what it will take to get everyone to sort of be happy and enthused.
That level of importance has been heightened. Absolutely. What do you think, Gandhi?
Okay, so I've been looking at the text messages, and everybody wants to talk to you guys. Like, I want to talk to Donnie. I want to talk to Danny. Which reminds me, when I was little, to this day, we now still have a 900 block on our phone, because you guys used to have a phone number that you could call and allegedly leave you a message, and you guys would call us back.
We have a new one, too.
I never... What the...
But it's free.
But it's free.
Oh,
it's
good.
free this time.
Because my parents had like a $400 bill from my sister, and no one ever called back. So I was just thinking, maybe you could bring that back.
Our new one's free.
Good.
So what we do is we pull out our phones whenever we're doing something fun, like I'm doing. Hey, everyone, welcome to the new free New Kids Hotline.
Yeah, this is good.
We're here at the Elvis Duran show, and everyone say hi.
Hi.
It's just a phone message, and it's free. We're not getting any money, so you won't be getting a check. But if you want one, we'll talk after.
Oh, what's the number, by the way? What is it?
It's 1-8.
Oh, it's an 8 now.
60
We're looking
new
at
kids.
our complete team. Nobody knows
I
the
believe
number.
it's 1-860 new kids. 1-860. If you called, you know the number, so it's okay.
1-860 new kids.
Yeah, but
kids,
it's
there you
free.
go.
It's free, and you hear messages from us all the time, and it's very 80s, but we love it. Goodbye, everyone.
That's so cool.
I think Pink famously got grounded, actually, for spending so much money on that 900 number.
So did Priya Gandhi. Sorry, P. If
Okay,
you're listening,
yeah.
I tried.
So I know you're leaving after this interview, Donnie, to go do some work with Blue Bloods. I think you're doing some promotional today. But Blue Bloods is actually shooting at Lee's Tavern in Staten Island today.
They are.
I was supposed to go there for lunch today to have my clam pie, and you're
Clam
They
pie.
shut it down.
I rarely eat clam pie.
Yeah.
I think.
Unless it's at Lee's.
At Lee's Tavern, but not today.
Yeah, well, because when we buy out a restaurant or a pub or a tavern or whatever to film, we actually typically get them to still cook for us. So if you wanted to go have a clam pie, I could call Blue Bloods and tell them you were coming by to have a pie, so you don't cry.
Can we name?
I can try.
Yeah.
Oh, sigh.
Yeah.
What's that?
Maybe I thought maybe we can even name it after you. Elvis's clam pie. Just for the day.
That video was done years ago. But thanks for asking. I appreciate it. Let's talk about your schedule now. I know you guys are flying out to Los Angeles this weekend. You'll be at the iHeartRadio Theater in Burbank doing a special that's going to play back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are hitting the road running here. But you all have these very well established lives going on. Are you ready for another round of this with a tour that's starting this summer? I mean, it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Pause. Here's a pregnant pause.
No, New Kids is the foundation. None of these other things exist without New Kids. We could dream that one day we could be on television shows, and I'm sure John would still have learned how to build a house. But to the level that we get to do all these things, none of this exists without New Kids. New Kids is the gift that keeps on giving, and our fans are the greatest fans ever, and they still have our back after all these years, and are growing in numbers. I mean, it's just spectacular. There's new generations of fans, and now the parents of our fans are coming. They're no longer mad about the 900 line. They're like, we love Blue Bloods too, kid. So it's expanded so much, but New Kids is the source for all the great things that have happened in our lives.
I must make an assumption here, and I already know the answer. We've been doing this show at Z100 for 27 years. Yeah. So when you go out on the road and you meet people and they come up to you and they are in tears, right?
Yeah.
They're in tears. They're shaking because you were such an important part of their history. And then they say, I was a huge fan of yours, and now my daughter loves to listen to you, and now my granddaughter listens to you. You're like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank goodness. That is there validity in there? But leaving your legacy, guys. I mean, I know I'd love to hear what you have to think about it.
It's cool. Like, in the past few years, we've seen more. More of the fans' sons and daughters and cousins and nieces and nephews and stuff like that come to the show, and it's kind of like, I'm always kind of like, you're into us, like us, like that kind of thing. But then it's like it's such a compliment, And then I think back of like when I used to like bands that my older sisters liked, like they would like play the music on the record, and I'd be like, and then I'd get into them, when I was really young. So I look at it like that. It's like it's so cool that they're getting into like an older group or older generation of music. And it just kind of speaks to what we've done over the years, put our heart and soul into it, and hopefully made really good art and songs and came up with good performances, and they're into it.
Yeah.
There was an energy. New Kids was more than just the music and the performances. There was an energy there. And on the radio end of it, we saw it, we felt it, and it was huge.
And that too. And a lot of people say, like, you guys are just fun. We like the energy. It feels good to like watch you guys. So that's a thing also that I feel is probably an appeal.
Absolutely. I think if I can add too, we don't get to decide our legacy. We're living out our dreams, really. I mean, this is stuff we dreamed of as kids, to be in a band and to have success and be on the radio and do an interview, and all the other countless things that have happened in our careers. But, other people will decide what our legacy is when it's all said and done. But for us, if we can just know that we had a magical ride together, we stuck together, we respected the bond that we have, and most importantly, we gave back to our fans and brought happiness to as many people as we could. That's I think what I know I personally take away from it every day. It's every time a tour ends, if I know like we put it all out there and gave everything we had to give back to the fans who've given us so much, then that's all that really matters. The rest is for other people to figure out later in a book.
You kind of wonder, like, what new artists are we playing today that will be doing this that many years later?
Yeah.
Like, and who's to say what the magic dust was that made it happen, that your journey today brought you here today after all these years,
So many things, yeah.
What
so
is
many
it?
little things.
How can you explain it? Can anyone explain this? Or?
5 teenagers cramming into a car, driving down from Boston, going to New York, and literally pounding the pavement. Literally. Like, we got into the Apollo by bumping into the guy who booked the place on the street because Maurice Starr just had that energy. You know what I mean? There's so many bolts of lightning. You know what I mean? Starting with Maurice Starr and Donnie Wahlberg. I mean, that right there was enough to change the world. You know what I mean? So you gotta hustle. Our parents. I think about our parents. Our generation of parents. That generation. You know what I mean? They worked hard. They scrap things together. They, up by your bootstraps, you know what I mean? Get up, go be somebody, all those things, It's like, it's a million things that come together. And I think, we keep feeling like we have to show up, to pay back and see what else is, around the corner as well.
Hitting that pavement, would you ever want to go back to that day ever again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Jonathan?
Yeah, no, no, definitely, yes.
Those are wild days, man. Walking into Times Square for the first time, and in 1985.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun walking into a New York radio station and having a few people welcome you in instead of a few people saying, "Who the hell are you? Get the hell out of here." It's definitely more fun, but what makes it special now is when Joey just telling those stories, when we remember. If we don't forget that struggle and those tough times and what it took to get here. I rarely walk into a place that I used to not be able to get into without going, wow, how blessed, how lucky am I? I mean, that's what it's about, is you got to remember the journey. And, you said we were like, and I know you didn't mean it in a bad way, but like 5 superstar kids when you first met us. And like, yeah. And fortunately, after all these years, we remember the journey and we respect the journey. And it makes us grateful to be here.
You're
now.
Still on the journey. That's the fun
Absolutely.
You're still on the journey. All right. Let's talk about the album. All right. So Still Kids is out tomorrow. Yeah. It's an album of songs that do what? What are these songs? I mean,
make you feel good.
Okay. Is that what it is?
Make you feel alive.
Is there a filter that each song needed to go through in order to make it on this album?
No, I think it
kind of. I mean, a little. Yeah. I mean, a little bit, but.
Well, I would say there wasn't a filter like we sat down and said that doesn't feel right. Yeah. I think we were writing and singing and recording from a space of feeling. It's a lot of love and heart, and in some ways it's a nostalgic album. In other ways it's a reflective album. In other ways it's a very contemporary album. It has a lot of layers, but it's very cohesive. And my experience to the couple of fans I sneak previewed it to. It's an emotional roller coaster, but all very. It has a symmetry, if that's the right word. I don't know.
I think lyrically too. We get to have all the feels on the music, but lyrically we get to speak to our generation and the life we've lived, and also have fun at the same time. And then have one of the, our first single was Kids, but we gave like a free download on New Kids on the Block Day of a song Jordan sings, Love Like This, which is it's absolutely classic. You know what I mean? It's Jordan Knight doing his thing, and the feels are just instant. It's just like bam, and we have those moments along the way in the album, but we also stretch and grow, because that's the stuff that gets you excited, you know what I mean, to try and stretch. And it was fun. I mean, again, Donnie kicked it off, and when I stepped in with my buddy Sean, who wrote a bunch of songs with me for the album, it was just fitting into that vibe, you know what I mean, and making something cohesive, but that spoke to a very long history.
What about you, John? This album, anything in particular that sticks out for you while listening to this album? Have you heard the album?
Are you a secret blockhead? Are you a secret blockhead?
He's like very perceptive.
Yes.
Maybe I'll get to it. John's like, I'll get to it one day. I swear to God.
No, I have heard it. Yes, I did. Heard it when it was done.
I'll show you a picture from a text from John. Just to prove it, but you texted me the other day of him listening to a song called "Come Back," and he was like, "I love." You know what I mean? That big high praise from John.
Okay,
from his pickup truck on his farm, for him to, he's feeling it. If he's gonna stop and take a picture, so yeah, we all have our favorites.
What about you, Danny? Any thoughts about this album?
I just thought it was great that two guys in the group were writing in two separate places, but then the songs coexist on the album and sound like either one of them could have wrote each other's songs. So they were,
that's interesting.
Yeah, they were writing, and everything just works together. And it was great when Joe came with his songs, because it kind of was like more energy, and then Donnie wrote a few more that brought more energy. So for me, it was watching that and being a part of it was great.
And finally, Jordan, what do you think? This album? Not a fan.
No. It's funny, like we're older now, I guess, but like you see, a lot of times you see, like I've seen it, older bands or bands that have been out for 30 years, they'll come out with an album and it's like, I don't know, they hired the latest producer, and it's kind of like it doesn't feel right. And this album is not like that. It's not like us trying. It's not us trying to be something. It's like it found the beautiful medium of like sounding very contemporary but sounding very us. Like the lyrics are grown lyrics, like stuff that we go through. It's not like trying to cater to young kids, but young kids will still like it because it has a contemporary sound.
All right. Well, we could play Kids right now, which is, everyone's heard Kids. But Magic is the song that has not been released yet. I'd rather get thrown.
You get all the inside scoops, so you might as well do whatever you want at this point.
He's going to do it anyway, Donnie.
Are we breaking any laws here? If you say yes, it makes it more fun.
Yeah.
You're certifying your status in Blockhood lore forever right now.
Is that what I'm doing?
Oh, your questions, your playing of a song. Yeah, you're locked in forever.
Obviously it's a tie-in to our tour this summer, the Magic Summer Tour. And so the first two tracks on the album are Magic 1, and the next one is Summer Love. So you got the Magic Summer Love. Just a little inside, sort of like a Swiftie thing, you know what I mean? We have Easter eggs too on our albums. Yeah,
absolutely you do. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. We were gonna play Kids and Magic. I'm gonna play them both at the same time. What do you think? I'm gonna play Magic first, guys. I cannot thank you enough for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
What an honor to have you in our house.
It's great to be here.
And thanks for not lighting your farts on fire, even though part of me secretly wished you would in a weird way. One text, and then we'll let you go. I'm a retired NYPD detective. One of my favorite memories is working in uniform. Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Wow.
Joey was on a float. He looked down and waved. Of course, he was my favorite. I was screaming and jumping up and down, completely forgetting I was working in uniform. The audience was laughing. One of my best memories of being on the New York City Police Department.
That was 2001-ish, I think. Yeah. It's after 9/11.
I know you guys are busy. Before we play your music, I have a question. We have this thing every year called the iHeartRadio Music Festival. It's in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
We've
Pretty
heard.
big deal.
Great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Don't answer now because I know you got to look at your calendar.
We've never been invited to that, by
Yeah.
the
Well,
way.
you're now invited.
What?
Hey!
I'm
Let's
officially,
go.
and I hope, and they can fire me. Fine. I'm worth more fired than hired. Let me go. I Heart Gods. I would like to officially invite you. I want you to look at your calendars.
Yep.
Have the managers talk to the managers. You know all that BS.
Wow.
And let's see if we can get you out in Vegas for the most incredible 2 days of music in Las Vegas with the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Don't answer
That's
now.
incredible.
Okay.
But if you could answer yes.
That'd be cool.
Yes.
We're not
You said
answering.
this weekend?
No, September.
Is it?
When?
September.
Oh, September.
Is it a steak or chicken thing or a fish or vegan? Do we have to check a box?
No rubber chickens. You're good.
So September.
None of us are answering, but we're all smiling.
If you could
and you
all-
have a camera to prove it.
If you could all go. And if we could get John off the farm for
Yeah.
The crops are down by September. They're down. He should be available.
I'm just floating it out there. Let me give it to you good. Still Kids, the album is out tomorrow. You've heard Kids. We're going to play that for you in a second. But Magic is the song that's released tomorrow. We're going to play that for you now.
Wow.
Because what the hell?
Because.
New Kids on the Block.
Let's go.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.